What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Algorithms versus experts. We're coming at you live. I am MMA Sleepless Sharp. That is Professor Violence. We're going to break down and give you some UFC Fight Night picks for Saturday, February 25th. Josh, how you feeling today?
Sleepy as a mother trucker. But other than that, I'm delightful.
Sleepy as a mother trucker, huh?
Sleepy as a mother trucker.
Shit,
But I'll make it work. Last minute, we're getting it in. What do you think about Andrade losing to Aaron Blanchfield?
Yeah, I think that was I thought she was pretty sloppy.
That was a normal Andrade fight.
I don't know. I thought she's been fighting a lot more different than that. I thought personally, since she's moved back down, I thought she was a little better, a little less crazy. But hey, whatever works, I guess. Yeah, I didn't. I thought she didn't protect her neck at all. It seemed like to me. Just in
got caught in transition is the thing. Like, it's really, really difficult to start on someone's back and then achieve a rear naked choke. But if I start trying to rear naked choke you before I finish securing the back, it kind of scrambles your priorities, right? Like, you're worried about the position, and if I'm worried about the position, then we'll battle for position. And once the positional battle is settled, we'll start talking about the submission. And you'll be like, "You're not going to submit me with the one thing that's most common here," and I'll be like, "I'm going to do it," and you'll be like, "I'm not going to do it." Right? And then we have to have a negotiation about whether or not I'm going to be able to rear naked choke you. But if I start trying to rear naked choke you from angles where I can't finish it, and then we negotiate the position when the threat is already on, it makes it a lot more difficult to deal with. So most of the times you see submissions in MMA either happens when someone's rocked or in transition.
Yeah, no, it's true. That's a good point. I guess the part of the transition is you're not protecting your neck at all because you're getting both your hands to the mat for balance and stabilization, and then you'll deal with the choke later. I guess without both your hands, it's that much more difficult. If you protect your neck first, you kind of run the risk of never getting back to your feet. Would you say?
More like this. Put your hands on the mat, or I'm going to make you headbutt the mat.
Oh, post to, yeah.
Right? So you have to post, or you're going to headbutt the mat. Now that your hands are on the mat, I begin attacking your neck. Right. So now you have choices about whether or not you defend the position or you defend the neck.
Like that moment, look, I defend my neck all day. My wife might rear naked choke me right now for trying to defend my shit all day.
Good. So I'm going to beard, so you can never tell if my chin's up.
That's it. Yeah, so maybe that did you feel that maybe that was a little sloppy on her part? Like nothing, like chin down, like nothing. She's a pretty high level black belt in BJJ.
I don't necessarily think she's that high level in jiu-jitsu. I think that she's a good fighter, and I think that she's definitely got skills in the ground. I don't know if she's a black belt or not.
She is. I know she is.
Okay, but I don't think that means a lot when you get your black belt in Brazil. Not that it never does, but no, I'm not, dude. That's like,
I got you.
It
just sounds funny. It just sounds funny.
If you're an MMA fighter and you got your black belt, your Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt in Brazil, it is 50% more likely that your black belt is bullshit than in any other situation. Change any one of those variables, and it's 50% less likely to be bullshit.
Okay.
But they'll do them as like marketing tools and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they don't teach a style. Most of them haven't adapted their style to MMA.
No.
So you see a lot of uh, like at AKA forever. They were taught by Leo Noguera, who's like super legit gi guy, super legit sport gi guy,
Yeah.
not a gi face puncher. Like it's just different.
Yeah.
So I don't know how great she is, but Erin Blanchfield is very good on the ground. Very, very good on the ground.
Very,
And you
very
saw,
good. Very good. She's got that Danaher game.
like, did you see what Valentina did to Jessica? She
Yes, we
mangled
talked about
her like Dick
we talked about that. That was the one thing that made me worry. Like, well, she was able to really control her, but it was more to me that was more just strength, Valentina's strength, and
Do you
getting
think
her in
Valentina
a really terrible
powered?
position is that you don't see. Like you don't really catch someone in a crucifix that often, unless you're Aaron Blanchfield. She did it to Molly McCann and beat her up. Like you don't really see it that often in MMA.
I bet you we see the crucifix once a card,
No, no chance. No,
maybe every other card.
no.
Dude, the crucifix happens.
Maybe every other or less, but no, I would say it's really rare. If you look throughout the year, like getting someone in a crucifix, that's hard.
It is hard. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I don't think that Valentina overpowered Jessica Andrade, but I think Jessica's just not great on the ground. Like, it's just not her
that
thing.
could be. I mean, she was trying to take Valentina down. Valentina was just stuffing her and repeatedly taking her down, and then eventually just used superior technique to just hold position and pound her, and she couldn't do anything about it. So yeah, you could be dead right. Maybe she's not that great of a black belt, but she is built. She is a black belt. Um, but yeah, I mean, other than that, hey, Aaron Blanchfield train keeps rolling, so she's gonna get a title shot, I'm sure.
And
There's-
she should.
yeah,
I
definitely, she's
kind
ready.
of wanted to take one more, but she's definitely getting a title shot. And
Yeah,
this girl,
I think she's right. There's no one. There's just no one left. Like if Valentina beats Alexa Grasso or whoever wins that fight, I think Blanchfield's next.
well, I mean, there's Tatiana Suarez and Manon Thoreau.
But Tatiana Suarez isn't ready. She's 4 years. She's had a 4 year layoff, which I guess we'll talk about. But yeah. So why don't we talk about that? Where do we start for this card? Let's start at
So we've got UFC Fight Night, Krylov versus Spann.
yes. All right.
John, you got a hidden gem for me this week?
I don't know if I have a hidden gem this week so far. I will do a. I didn't get out any shorts last week. I did get out a short the week before, which we hit on with Loma Luke Boonme win by finish, and I hope anyone listened and cashed on that. It was like plus 450. I'm going to do a couple of those this week, but a possible fight that stuck out for me was Charles Johnson and O'Day Osborne. So Charles Johnson opened up minus 225 over O'Day, which I thought was ridiculous. I not that I think Charles Johnson. It seems like I'm always hating on Charles Johnson, but I don't. I I yeah. He's so he wasn't bad in the loss against Mokaev. Like he wasn't bad in the sense where he didn't get crushed. I mean, he lost the fight unanimously, but he did some things and he hung in the fight. He questionable split decision over Zolgas Zumagulov, and then he had that weird fight with Jimmy Flick that came under scrutiny because the line went from a pick to minus 500 on Charles Johnson, and people were like, "What the fuck is going on? Is this fight fixed?" No, it ended up being Jimmy Flick wasn't fixing the fight. It was just kind of an over adjustment of odds. The line opened up way too short than it should have been. Jimmy Flick hasn't fought in 3 years. Jimmy Flick's kind of a one trick pony. He's only going to win the fight on the mat, and it just wasn't a very good matchup for him. And he got, Charles Johnson smashed him, and he's coming back after a month. Charles Johnson, he didn't really take any damage on that. This is going to be his fourth fight in 6 months. 2 hard fights, and now he's coming back to me. So 4 fights in 6 months, and he's fighting O'Day Osborne, who I don't know. Maybe I give O'Day too much credit. I think O'Day still doesn't get the respect he deserves. Um, Maybe he doesn't deserve it. He makes a lot of questionable things that cost him fights, and he gets knocked out. So his chin's definitely a little bit questionable. But Charles Johnson isn't a knockout guy. Like, O'Day was doing okay against Manel Kopp, and he got caught. And Manel Kopp is kind of a freak. Manel Kopp's a really good fighter, and he might fight for a title one day. So we can forgive that. He won his next 2 fights, like he should have, and he got caught and he got knocked out like Tyson Nam last time. Okay,
No, that's not got caught. He didn't get caught.
I feel he got caught, but
He leapt in the air and landed in front of the guy's face with his hands down. That is not getting caught.
okay.
That was 100% set up. Watch the ball come across the plate, easy home run. That wasn't curveball, got nicked. Holy shit! How did it manage to run out? No.
Oh, that's not what I meant. Yeah, but I understand. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, he got caught with his fight. He makes some. He's kind of his own enemy in the octagon. I don't know for whatever reason.
Decisions.
Yeah, even his fight, he unanimous decision winning against CJ Vergara. He wasn't at times in that fight. He just wasn't doing a lot. He could have really took control of that fight and dominated. But he just didn't show a lot of urgency and thing, even though he was winning. So I don't know, but O'Day's really talented in my opinion, and I think this is a step up for Charles Johnson. So for him to open up -225 to me was really so I jumped on O'Day Osborne. I took a bet on him. The line has since dropped, and Charles Johnson's about -160 now. So I was correct. So I don't know if it's a hidden gem yet, but I do. I mean, O'Day, he's going to have a small reach advantage. I think this fight plays out on the feet, and I don't know. I can see Charles Johnson outworking him, uh, but I still think that value was there on O'Day Osborne, so I jumped on it, and I do think this is very winnable for him.
Do you know that O'Day's average fight is less than a round?
No,
I didn't realize that. But yeah, it's basically all first round finishes except that one decision. Uh, so the stuff to look at. Does Charles Johnson get finished
mm, no,
in? I'm gonna call it 30 fights. Almost 30 fights, and in about 20 fights, including boxing. Yeah, 20, 30 fights. He's never been finished.
okay, yeah, no, yeah, I would say that's
So he's unlikely to get finished by something crazy here. O'Day does finish people. Like, I don't even know if O'Day wins decisions. Let's see. O'Day has 2 decision wins in 11 victories. So O'Day doesn't tend to win decisions. He only got 1 decision loss. O'Day's only been to decision 3 times in
yeah,
also like 20 fights. I'm not making a pick for this one, but that's what I'd be looking at.
yeah, yeah.
And what's the likelihood that there's a finish in the first round? And then if there's not a finish in the first round, who is more likely to win across the stretch?
I would think Johnson, even though I have the bet on O'Day, and so that value might be gone now. Like the hidden gem of that, like that if you can't get that value, I wouldn't bet O'Day. I think I think you're right. It's if O'Day can win in round 1, and that's a long shot against Charles Johnson. So we'll see. Yeah, Charles Johnson definitely he will throw volume, and I've seen, Oday's fight IQ, and he can be lethargic, so that doesn't bode well for him going to the second and third round. Like he might just get outworked and just not want to be there, type of deal. Uh, but so if you're not getting a top betting price on it, I would say fade it. But it's
So, first fight on the main card: Eric the Ghost Pepper Gonzalez versus Trevor Peak.
that's on the main card. I thought that was.
That's the
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
That's the,
it is.
this is a 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a 6-fight main card.
So
Super weird. Didn't know that
speak,
was a thing.
speaking of first round finishes. Trevor Peak has never seen a third round as a pro. He's 7-0. Eric Gonzalez does not like to see the second round. So I think this is going to be a banger to kick off a main card. I haven't seen any props on this fight yet to go the distance or not, but this fight is not going the distance. I'm sure the bookies will know that. But you might catch a good number on this, and maybe you could throw it in your parlay. Um, Trevor Peak's about minus 190 right now, which is fair. Um, Eric Gonzalez is definitely more battle tested as a pro. He's got 21 pro MMA fights. Trevor Peak 7. I don't know if either has ever beat any much of a name. Trevor Peak beat Kama Worthy.
That's his only.
Um,
That's his only real fighter.
I don't know if that's what you want to put into that. Eric Gonzalez got knocked out by Jim Miller, who doesn't really knock anyone out. But, like that, and he got submitted by Terrence McKinney, who looked horrendous in his last fight, in my opinion. But Terrence McKinney's a beast of a fighter, so no shame in that. But he was supposed to, he just got worked. This is a much better matchup for Eric Gonzalez, who is probably fighting for his job to stay in the promotion at this point. Um, thing that sticks out to me is Eric Gonzalez has a 5-inch reach. He's going to be the bigger guy. He's going to have a 5-inch reach. And he's got power. He's a knockout artist. So speaking of your round ones, I think Eric Gonzalez is an underdog round one finish. That prop is a good bet. I don't know if he can win this fight later, but we'll see. I don't know. I saw Trevor Peak's fight in Contender Series.
Did he look good?
Yeah, he looked good. Um,
His statistics for that fight are some of the worst I've ever seen.
really?
It's just bad. He has a 32% striking defense. I've never seen it that low. He's got 68% striking accuracy though, but he absorbed 8.5 strikes per minute.
Yeah, but he finished it. I don't know if I saw the whole first round of that fight, but he finished the fight on the ground, so he could have just been landing strikes, for a good like 2 minutes to get that number skewed in his favor. Maybe he didn't do too well in the first round of the feet. I don't remember it.
Significant strikes on the ground. 26 of his strikes were on the ground total.
Hmm.
He threw 79 significant strikes. 26 were on the ground.
Okay.
Looks like he got the shit kicked out of him on the feet. At distance, the guy hit him a lot. In the clinch, the guy hit him a lot. And then on the feet, on the ground, the guy was useless.
Yeah, that's enough for me. I mean, based on our breakdown after that, I think Eric Gonzalez can win this fight, and I think that's a good value. So Eric Gonzalez plus 150, boom, that's my pick.
I definitely think you should be picking Eric Gonzalez. Unfortunately, Trevor Peak's never fought anybody that is of this caliber other than Kama Worthy. He has one other opponent in his record who has a good record, but this guy's only been fighting for like 3 years. He got an amateur fight in 2013 and another one in 2014. But if you look at it after that, all of his fights, he had a couple amateur fights in 18 and 19, and then starting in 2021, he was off the races. Like he had 1, 2, 3 in 2021, 1, 2, 3, 4 in 2022, and then he got here quick. This guy's got no real tests in his record. That's why he's been able to finish everybody in round one. Surprised about the Kama Worthy victory that fast, but there's no real reason to pick Trevor Peek here other than you're worried about what you've seen out of Eric Gonzalez. And Eric Gonzalez's losses in the UFC don't worry me at all. Like, Jim Miller was on a good run, and he's a super wily veteran. And then T-Rex was smashing everybody. So if he loses this one, I'll start to be worried about Eric Gonzalez. But I assume that he should win this one.
Yeah, I just actually clicked. I actually just clicked and bet Eric Gonzalez as we were saying. I felt like it was let's go. Just like get it. I wanted to get it in as fast as possible. I was like, why the fuck is he an underdog against this guy? I feel this should be more of like a pick'ems fight, as both guys have a lot of questions. I don't. But
Yeah.
we'll see. Next fight, boom. Mike Malott against Johan Lioness, the White Lion. So I I had Johan last time, his last fight, and he got the job done. Split decision fight. I think I've seen I've seen actually all of Johan's fights in the Contender Series and 2 UFC fights, and I don't think he matches up well with his style. Like he just wants a. He seems more of a plotter. He definitely lost the first round, Darian Weeks, and he was able to win the last 2 rounds on 2 of the judges' scorecards. He kind of wants to get things. Kind of wants to use that reach. He's got a good reach, and he'll have a 3-inch reach advantage in this fight. He wants to pluck you apart from range. He can throw some. He'll throw combos. He just doesn't do that well under pressure, in my opinion. I'm not going to say his one loss knockout makes his chin questionable, but Mike Malott has power. Mike Malott has a lot of ways to finish you. I don't. I do know from waiting for Mike Malott's fights that not a lot of people want to fight Mike Malott. So I don't. Yeah, I think Mike Malott is he overpriced here? He's minus 220. No, I think he should be about 2-1 favorite. But I don't know. I think Mike Malott wins this fight. I think he can get this fight to the mat. I think he can. I think his power. I think he can hurt. I think he's going to be able to hurt Johan on the feet. Like I said, Johan doesn't do well under pressure or power. So I don't know how he's going to do when Mike Malott, who has power, touches him. So I think Mike Malott wins this fight.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about either guy really, but I looked into him a lot, quite a bit more when he fought Mickey Gall, and he looked good. I'm pretty sure I still picked Mickey Gall,
You did.
and I ate my words, and Mike Malott fucked him up. But I mean, Johan's got a couple of good wins in here.
He does.
I think Darian Weeks is good. It's very unfortunate that Darian Weeks isn't in the UFC anymore. I think that he got a bad draw, and I hope that he's able to make it back to the UFC, and he's a better product than he even was the first time. Gabe Green's a good fucking fighter too. Like he's fought good dudes.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like Mike Malott's been training with really, really quality training partners for quite a while. And I think he's had a harder run to the top than Johan has. Maybe not. It's pretty similar. I'm going to pick. Who did you pick? You picked him a lot?
I got Malott, yeah.
I'm going to pick Johan mostly just to have a different pick than you. But I wouldn't at all be surprised if Malott wins this one. Tatiana Suarez versus Montana De La Rosa.
My girl is back. Where has she been? It's been 4 years. Oh, she's a
14
killer.
neck surgeries.
Neck was a neck, knee. I thought it was knee. Was a neck at first, then
She
knee.
had neck surgery at first, and then I think when she was recovering, like right when she got back to training from her neck surgery, she had a knee injury or I don't know.
Yeah, you're probably dead. I know there was a knee in there. I just know I was like, what happened? Like, where did it go? And I don't. All right, so she's fighting Montana, and Montana usually just Montana says. I think Montana just says yes to fight everyone. I don't know because it seems like every fight she has, she's on like a terrible stylistic draw. Um, uh, she's gonna have a 2-inch reach advantage in this fight. I don't know if that's gonna matter at all because Montana's striking is not good. Um, I think this is going to be a flyweight fight, which is what Tatiana's fought at strawweight. I think her first fights, wasn't she?
All of
Yeah,
them, yeah.
they're all right, and she's beat. She looked real like I was sold when she crushed Alexa Grasso, and then she smashed Carla. No one since Whaley, like no one smashed Carla like that. That I've seen, she just crushed Carla, and then um, dominated Nina Nunes. She didn't get to finish that fight, but she pretty much dominated that. And then yeah, it's been almost 4 years. I thought she was gonna fight for a title. Um, but what does 4 years do? And neck surgeries and knee surgeries to a wrestle heavy dominant fighter, in your opinion?
Quite a bit. It can make you hesitant to shoot. I
Mm-hmm.
heard her say that for a while she was hesitant to shoot. She
Mm-hmm.
wasn't taking openings that she saw because she was scared about hurting her neck. Injure your knee, you're not going to have quite the same drive that you had. But 4 years off, all those little injuries that she hadn't been taking care of, like she had that neck injury for a while. She fought with it multiple times.
Okay.
Um, but take 4 years off, and now your hand isn't hurt anymore. And the hand wasn't going to ever stop you from fighting, but maybe you couldn't lock your hands in this direction. You could only lock them in this direction, and four of your favorite moves require that other grip. So now they don't exist in your repertoire.
Right.
And now 4 years later, your best moves are back. And then you're no longer fatigued from living at the gym, like mentally fatigued from living in the gym. So as long as she is able to deal with quote unquote ring rust, right? Which ring rust gets most fighters most of the time, but it does not get all fighters all of the time. As long as that's not an issue, there's no reason she shouldn't smash Montana De La Rosa.
Yeah. If Montana had any kind of Montana's a good wrestler. She's a really good wrestler for
Good fighter.
flyweight.
I like her.
She's a good wrestler, but she's not on the level of Tatiana Suarez. And if Suarez is able to get her down, that's Montana's get up game to me is pretty bad. I don't like her get up game, especially I don't like her striking. So I mean, she would need a lot of things to go wrong to lose this fight. I don't know if that's like even if she got ring rust, like a little bit scared. I don't know. Like, I don't think Montana's the person that's gonna turn that fight in her favor and just start lighting her up. Yeah, I don't. Montana, she had a good first round against Myra Bueno Silva, and she had that's right, and she had the point. Myra Bueno Silva had a point taken away because she grabbed the fence, and she still wasn't able to get the win because I had her that fight, and she was a big underdog, and she fucking still didn't get the win. It was a draw. Ah, so she had a 10-8 first round, and she still wasn't able to get it done. And fuck yeah, I don't. Yeah. So striker Vivi Aerogel, she got crushed, and I had Lipsky ground and pound, but that's different. And then she just didn't do anything at Macy Barber. She landed like no strikes. Like she's just not a good
She was
striker.
second the whole time.
Huh?
Don't hold that one against her. That one Macy looked good.
Macy's good, but she just didn't do anything. She just didn't do anything. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I'd bet Tatiana Suarez. She's minus 800, which she should be. But yeah, unless she's got a lot of ring rust, there's not much. There's just no value here. She's probably going to be like minus 300 to finish the fight. Yeah, no. Tatiana Suarez wins the fight, but like from a betting standpoint, I don't know if there's. I don't think there is much of a much value instead of just plucking in a parlay like the first fight of the night to not go the distance we were talking about. That was the Eric Gonzalez fight. That fight's not going the distance, in my opinion. Maybe parlay that with Tatiana Suarez by finish and try to build something. But yeah, that's not. This is. But I mean, I want to see it. I want to see how she looks. But
Also, I think that with 4 years off, even though she is going to be better than ever, the game evolves very rapidly.
yeah,
She used to have leaps and bounds of skill.
yes,
I don't think that would be the case anymore.
that could be true because Montana's from a fighting. I mean, she's pretty much she must live in the gym because her husband's a fighter, and so she's always around it. And right, so she has to be improving at least mentally. Like,
I don't know if Montana is the one to show us that.
no,
But
might not be, but she's just there. She is there.
Tatiana was about to be the queen of the division, and I
Yeah,
don't think this is return of the queen. I think this is return of a very good fighter, and we'll see what happens.
yeah, that's a good way of putting it. All right, moving on. Oh, Augusto Sakai and Dante Mays. Yeah.
Hey, Derek, wait, really quick. This is the third to last fight, right?
Yeah.
What weight class is this?
Heavyweights.
Every time, baby. Every time.
You were right. You pointed that out last week. You're right. Everything. You're like, let's stick some heavyweights in here and see what happens. But these are bad. I mean, Dante Mays. I mean,
Augusto Sakai's a good fighter. He really is.
No, he's not. Stop. And Dante Mays. Shame on you for not beating Hamdi. Like, oh God, like, come on, Dante Mays.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Like I mean, the guy just doesn't have any quality wins, in my opinion. Yeah, I'm not putting Brocade Martinez not in the UFC.
No contest.
What?
Why did the Hamdi fight become a no contest?
I don't think it did. It was a split decision.
No, it's a no contest now.
Oh fuck! It is. It is. It's voided. It's voided. Yeah, it became a draw. Or no. Right. Well,
Hamdi didn't have a visa as of a week before the fight. I wonder if that's the issue.
Might be something like that. Yeah, but whatever. We saw that fight, and yeah, Dante Mays he lost that fight. He's a huge dude, 6'6", got that reach on everyone. Augusto Sakai, he just gets knocked out by everyone. What the fuck? Like, I don't know what to make of this fight. I have no idea who wins this fight.
No. Augusto Sakai fought 4 people in a row that are in the top 5.
Yeah, and he looked pretty good. I don't know where he falls, but he didn't belong.
Yeah. Like I'm pretty sure that this was the Sakai versus Overeem fight close.
No.
Okay.
I don't think any of his fights were close, honestly. No, he looked all right against Tai Tuivasa for a round before he got knocked out. But he did all right in that fight.
He beat Arlovsky. He beat Chase Sherman. Like, he's a good fighter. He really is. But then he went Overeem and Jairzinho and Tai Tuivasa and Sergey Spivak and like
he's definitely fought better guys than Dante.
The only one in there that bothers me is that he lost to Jairzinho. But Jairzinho was like ranked number 6 in the world when he lost to him.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I mean, he's definitely I guess he's got all the tools to crush in this fight. It's only a pick'em's fight. If he wants to get this fight to the ground, I mean, he could probably smash Dante Mays.
Yeah, this shouldn't be a pick 'em at all.
It is.
The guy should absolutely destroy
Here
Dante
we
Mays.
go. We got the Josh Mooney pick'ems fucking value pick of the week. They only they happen like twice a month. Get on it now. All right, I'm doing it.
I didn't even care about this fight. Like I didn't, but
me neither.
This is not close at all.
All right, the books think otherwise. I'm excited for this now.
Yeah, no, this is not close.
I'm picking Sakai and I'm betting Sakai right now. So I'm clicking this in right now.
Make some money.
I am. I'm betting fucking Sakai. And if, like I always do, when you get these pick-up ones and I win, you got a $25 parlay on me. As well. This is so Andre Mooney is the minus 200 favorite over Brendan Allen, and I have no idea who wins this fight because Brendan Allen is a tough ass dude. His Chris Curtis loss, he said himself he fought like an idiot that fight, and if you saw, I remember. If you saw it, he definitely didn't put forward his best efforts in that fight. Jacob Malkoun really pushed him 2 fights after that, and he passed that test. And he ended up, he got a tough ass UD win. And then he choked out a guy that's really hard to finish, Jocko. So yeah, Brendan Allen's talented grappler, submission artist. So is Andre Moody's. This is a really tough fight. I think I favor Allen a little bit on the feet. I haven't seen that much of Andre Mooney's striking though. I've just seen his grappling, which is also incredible. So this is a really tough fight for me to pick. So I'll pass it to you.
So I think this fight tells if either one of them are going to fight for a title. First of all, I think that Andre Mooney is special. And I think he's special in this division. There's not anybody else that I can think of that has the level of grappling that he does at 185 pounds. I think he's ranked. So, yeah, he's ranked 11th in the UFC. Roman Dolidze, Derek Brunson, Marvin Vittori are probably not Vittori. Roman Dolidze and Derek Brunson are probably the only 2 that are ranked above him that are like grapple first guys. And other than that, this is like a striker's place. So I'm interested to see how Mooney can do. If he's able to handle Brendan Allen on the ground, I don't think there's anybody in the division that he can't submit, save maybe Roman Dolidze, who, by the way, has a fight with Marvin Vittori coming up. Thank you. I think Brendan Allen's really, really good as well. Brendan Allen's been fighting for quite a while. As an amateur, he was doing international competition, like he's a world champion in amateur MMA. And fought like other good fighters that were trying to be world champions in MMA, not just dudes with fights. And if you look at his losses, like they're all to legit fighters. Even the ones that happened outside the UFC are all to guys who then had real UFC success. Brendan Allen fights a lot, and I think that's why he has as many losses as he does. And it's 5 losses. Like that's not a lot of losses.
No,
but I think that he has 5 losses because of his activity, not because
he was. I'm pretty sure he was a late replacement in the Chris Curtis fight, and he said I didn't fight good in that fight. I don't think that was his fight, or maybe Chris Curtis was the replacement. I'm sorry, maybe somebody was a late addition in that fight. It was Chris Curtis getting his shot in UFC. Yeah, so interesting.
Right, he's 8-2 in the UFC. Like that's fucking good.
It's
I
really
think like
good. And I'm throwing the Chris Curtis one out the window because he really did. He felt like an idiot in that fight.
this is definitely gonna be a grappling match. Andre Muniz is good for almost 4 takedowns a fight, and Allen good for 1.5. But neither of them have great takedown defense. But I think that's mostly because neither of them really care. So the thing to watch out here is Brendan Allen works at a much higher rate than Andre Muniz.
That's important.
Yeah, that's super important. I'm trying to check really quick to see if Allen is active on the ground or not. 18 strikes on the ground, 74 strikes total.
Allen. So going back to the point I made, like Allen's fight against Jacob Malkoun, who's a really good wrestler, like Allen passed those tests. And he wasn't able to get a submission from the bottom against the wrestler, but he was able to get back to his feet, reversal, and get back to top position. And he won the fight, and he was also able to fight off a lot of those takedowns. So that might be really important in this fight, right?
Repeat the last sentence. Sorry.
That should be really important in this fight, right? Because if he can stop takedowns from Andre Muniz and not keep himself safe, then he should have the advantage.
Yeah, I think he's better on the feet. I think he's actually going to win the round. Now that I'm looking at it, more and more I've been looking at people who strike on the ground, and like Jamal Hill versus Glover. Like that was the thing I highlighted that was going to be different. Is once they got to the ground, Jamal Hill was going to look to fuck Glover up. Glover was going to try try and control him, and that was not at all what he was interested in. Andre Muniz threw 9 strikes through either 15 or 25 minutes on the ground with Uriah Hall.
Oh yeah, he threw nothing. He was just trying
to try and do damage on the ground. If you're not trying to do damage, I don't need to be scared of you.
Right.
If you're not going to have Brendan Allen like fearful for what might happen to him, I don't see any reason why he's not going to be able to force scrambles that Andre Muniz doesn't like. I think that on paper, Andre Muniz should win this fight, but I don't think he will. I think Brendan Allen is going to beat Andre Muniz.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the value's there. I think I think it's a little. I think Brendan Allen's not getting his due here. I think this is going to be a closer fight. I think this fight could play out closer. The more we're talking about this card, the more I kind of like these fights. I want to see him. I'll take Brendan Allen all in, baby. Brings us to the main event, and I think this is going to be a banger too. I like this fight. Light heavyweight, Superman Spann, Nikita Krylov. Nikita Krylov, he gets after it every time. I don't think he gives a fuck. This fight is 5 rounds. I don't think he's changing anything going into this fight, nor should he. He's going to come after it. I think he did make the decision, though, against Ozdemir, didn't he? Was that 2 fights ago? Oh, that was the last fight. Yeah, so that fight made it to the scorecards. I don't know how if you saw the fight because both guys are ready to get knocked out, and I don't. And they're just both really tough and neither could finish the other guy. But Krylov, the thing about Krylov is he can be finished. He also makes questionable decisions. And how does he get finished? He gets finished by submission a lot. Out of 9 of his losses, look at how many of them are by submission.
6.
6 out of 9. Yeah, so you're looking at that's a lot. And look at Ryan Spann's finishes. I bet you over 70% are by submission. Ryan Spann's a really good submission artist. He's sneaky. 56%. People don't give him credit, but Ryan Spann he'll submit you. Something Ryan Spann, like I think we picked him to upset Dom Reyes. I think one of us picked him, like, and he knocked him the fuck out. And he also upset against Kutalaba. Like, I like Ryan Spann. The only time he's let me down was against Anthony Smith. He's that night, but I don't know why. But he just didn't. The guy's talented. He just hasn't put it all together yet in the UFC. But he's still winning fights, and he's been in the promotion now.
He's got like 7 guillotines.
Wow. And Krylov is sloppy and he likes to try to wrestle. So if you want to back Krylov at minus 175, so think of that. Like he's gonna have his neck out there against a bigger man. He's gonna have Spann is just a huge dude. He's gonna have a 4-inch reach. He throws power. Spann has more ways to finish you, I think. I don't. Something else I think after Spann knocked out Reyes, he said that was the first time he ever did a full training camp. So I don't know if he's just he was a lazier, like not taking it serious type guy. I don't know that. But it sure sounds like he's been putting it together and he's serious about it now. He's still only 31 and he's got a lot of fights under his belt. I don't know. I think this is going to be a really good fight, and I do want to see. I do want to watch this fight. I think Spann has all the tools to win this fight. I think he's got more power on the feet. I like it. I don't mind his takedown defense. Plus I think if Krylov tries to take him down, he's got to be worried of Spann submissions at all times. Spann's a huge guy to take down. If he gets stuffed or Spann starts stuffing that later, yeah, I like Spann. I think Spann wins this fight.
Definitely. Spann's definitely going to win this fight.
16. You said that earlier. Like he's minus 700.
Who's minus 700?
It's Tatiana Suarez.
Oh.
You're like, definitely that.
I'm not as confident in this as I am some of the other fights, but because Krylov has been like, he has made me eat my words in his last few fights, but also he shat the bed in every other fight. And I don't mean every other fight. I don't mean every single fight. I mean every other fight. I win, I shit the bed. I win, I shit the bed. I win, I shit. He doesn't lose. Nikita Krylov never wins a fight and then loses a fight or goes in and gives it his all and happens to lose. He goes in and he wins or he just hits the bed completely. And it doesn't make any sense, but it does make sense because he got to the UFC at like 22 years old. He's been fighting in the top 15 since then.
He has so many fights in the UFC. It's insane.
Fucking everyone. But yeah, I think that it's very likely that Nikita is going to get clipped, and he's going to shoot. And the weird thing is, the numbers support him not being hittable. He gets hit like a normal amount, and hits a lot, and hits twice as often as that. But that's not what the tape shows.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I don't think I can ever pick a Nikita Krylov fight for him. He could fight a trash bag, and I would bet on a trash bag. Just like he's good. He really is.
Oh yeah, he is. I know. That's what makes it so frustrating. It's a really hard thing.
Like halfway through the fight, someone passes the controller to their toddler. What happened?
I think another interesting thing here is two guys that will shoot on you, Devin Clark, and Ion Kutelaba, someone that wants to try to get you down, like shoot, take you down, and bully you. He guillotined the fuck out of both of those guys, Ryan Spann, and choked them out. I could so see that happening here.
Yeah.
But then you don't know what you get. You get the guy that split decision to Sam Alvey. Sometimes you just don't, or knocks Johnny Walker down and then completely doesn't know what to do and doesn't get to finish and then turns around and gets finished like 30 seconds later. Like it's so like both guys kind of have that what the fuck factor. Like, I don't, but it just sounds like Spann has turned a corner and he's shown that his last two fights. We'll see, but I think
Spann.
We're doing it this week, and we're gonna share it on on a YouTube short. But that is it for this week. We both got Ryan Spann. We got a lot of underdogs, a lot of value. Hope we get there. Yeah.
That's it for the show, everybody. Thank you for watching. If you've made it this far, please remember to tell a friend to tell a friend. We try to keep the same grin whether we lose or win. I don't lose. It's the facts here. Actually, John got me all hyped and told me that I had a 55% or whatever success rate. So I started gambling, and I've lost every dollar I tried to gamble, which is not a lot of dollars, but it's still
gambling. His gambling is not really gambling, though. Everyone, just let's say, like, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. He thinks he's gambling, but he's not really gambling. It's a really good thing. You think that's gambling? Trust me.
God, I do great. I can get random people, not so much.
Yeah, but I would say so. The best Professor Violence pick he's found you found the diamond in the rough. We got Augusto Sakai. We'll see how he does. -115. Boom, you bet that. You're not laying much juice. Yeah, let's go. We found that, and we're gonna put this parlay together, and I'll have 2 shorts for you, everybody, this week. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Hit us up too if you like the content or you have opinions on our picks. Thank you.
This time and every time, thank you for being here.
Thank you. Good night.